he hits a tee shot and he just stands there holding the finish for like 30 seconds. I'm like, yeah, I got the photo. You don't have to hold it that long.
Yeah, that's not true. Come on.
Our partnership with the AJGA, it's about helping families solve one of the biggest challenges in junior golf, which is how do you pursue a sport, in this case golf, seriously without compromising your education?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Golf's Next Gen, the official podcast of the American Junior Golf Association. My name is Tim Jackman. I'm the VP of Comms at the AJGA. That's Thomas Harrison. He is Director of Tournament Operations. I think that's your title, right? Still?
Close enough.
Okay, cool. And then we have Justin over there, and then Caleb, actually, our video guy. He is stepping in and going to be kind of involved in the podcast more, so shout out to him. But Thomas, it's kind of getting close to the summertime. We're getting ready to kick off a bunch of stuff. I know we had to get this one in before it just kind of gets all crazy with summer training for our interns and then our summer season kicking off here towards the end of May, but a lot going on in the golf world too.
Yeah, I know, like you said, for us, wrapping up the spring, getting ready to welcome in a new crew of interns. So big thank you to those you probably ran into out on the course here in the spring. Get a bunch of fresh faces for you for summer, but looking forward to that. Looking forward to, obviously, we've kicked off major season. Nelly on the women's side, just absolutely dominating Chevron. Mm-hmm. So kind of her return to glory, you know, seems crazy that her fall off was dropping to number 2 in the world for a little bit, but she seems like she's all the way back because that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm always interested in that event because, in the past it's been at the Club of Carlton Woods, kind of where, not the same golf course, but the same club where we've had our Simplify Boys Championship. So I always kind of paid a little extra attention there. It moved this year. But really good for the LPGA, really good for women's golf, especially in the United States with Nelly winning that. And this kind of goes back to my conspiracy theory, which I have talked about before, in that when you host an AJGA tournament, kind of somewhere in the month before or after, good things happen to you in your professional career. It's happened many, many times. Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Sergio Garcia, I mean, you name it. And it happened to Nelly too, because guess who hosts an AJGA tournament here in 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think
World
it's
number 1.
You mentioned it's just karma. That's just, especially in a game like golf where you can have so many just lucky or unlucky bounces. Never hurts to have a little extra good karma coming your way. It's like, why would you not take it where you can get it? Right. So, yeah, good to see her back, her return. Obviously, her event is awesome every year. Ton of support there. So, also sponsored by Chevron. So, nice little tie in there. But very cool
really
to have.
Golf course.
Very, very hard golf course. Unbelievably difficult. So, kudos to the girls going out and playing there because I think I would probably walk off by like hole 5.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of funny that I brought up something that we talked about before because I feel like we're about to revive another discussion that we've had before, in that we had the Zurich, that happened here a couple weeks, I guess by the time you're listening to this, it'll have been, a week and a half ago. So, but let's talk about getting the tour card from that win and like counting it as a win, because I know we've had that discussion before.
Yeah, I know last year it was, do you count this as a win for Rory when he and Shane got it done? And obviously there was the great content, them seeing karaoke, all excited. Little did we know this was going to turn into the discussion, which you mentioned getting the tour card, something that I never took into account. Obviously, if you win a PGA Tour event, automatically earn a tour card should you choose to accept it, which, you know, in these days, who's not going to accept that?
Right.
It's what happened with Dunlap when he won the Amex, and it was a pretty quick decision to, like, yeah, why would you not take it? Take that 3-year exemption on tour. And so never really thought about what would happen in this instance where Alex Fitzpatrick, Matt Fitzpatrick's brother, not having status on tour, gets this win, counts as a PGA Tour win, and now has his card through 2028. Definitely kind of an interesting situation that I just never really even considered.
He's played in 11 tournaments, PGA Tour events, 11 PGA Tour events prior to this. Made the cut, or maybe that is including this, made the cut in 5 of them. And now he gets paired up with his brother and they go on this run, and now he's got his card. It's fascinating. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of being able to qualify to play in this tournament. Like if I had a buddy who is on the PGA Tour, can he just bring me on board? Maybe, probably not. But like just opens up in my mind some very interesting possibilities.
It was fun. I did see somebody post that obviously Bryson has all of his series he does on his YouTube channel, and they're like, the next series is going to be how high of a handicap can I get a tour card through the Zurich? Because it's like, obviously you've got to be able to play in the 4-ball format and foursomes, a little bit of that, but definitely interesting because it's obviously Alex Fitzpatrick is a good golfer. He's competed in majors, competed in high level events, but now to just make that jump where, all right, now he's in these signature events for the rest of the year, and probably a name that a lot of people are going to think like, I wonder if he's related to Matt Fitzpatrick for a while before they really put that together.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's too many people that have that sort of dichotomy of being able to get their family member in that situation. So it's just kind of funny to think about some of what those possibilities might be. Kind of fascinating. So, but good for them. I think Matt has certainly been on kind of a run and a tear. So that's he's had a lot of success recently. So a lot of these things are kind of setting up some interesting President's Cup kind of selection and stuff as well, which I think we're not too far away from really starting to talk about some of that and get it dialed in, especially Medina is going to be really interesting. And obviously we got the Junior President's Cup, and some of those standings are starting to take a little shape. And really over the next month, we'll have a really good idea of some of the juniors who'll be playing in that too. So
yeah, definitely an interesting time. So you look at that leaderboard right now, and like you said, there's a lot that can change between points that are going to be added here, points falling off. And so definitely interesting to see, like you said, for Junior President's Cup, Junior Solheim Cup is the next couple months where those really start to take shape and people get excited. Those are just two of the cooler events that we do, having that team golf atmosphere, having that nationality component to it. And then obviously the ties to the official Ping Solheim Cup and then the President's Cup with the PGA Tour. It's just a lot of investment on their end as well. So it's a very cool opportunity to be able to go and represent your country.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. I'll be going to the Team TaylorMade Invitational here in a couple of weeks, and that was won by none other than Charlie Woods last year. So it'll be interesting to see him come and defend his title, and that could have a big bearing on if he is a member of that Junior President's Cup team. I mean, he's in the standings right now and within the range. But obviously with that win last year and how our rankings work, it's only a 365-day cycle. So he'll have to have a good showing there, but it'll be very fascinating. And I think that event will really kind of help the rankings take shape with some of those standings. So and then obviously Nelly and Mizuho will have a huge impact for the Ping Junior Slalom Cup standings. So a lot of cool stuff. And really this is the time of year where a junior golf especially gets ramped up, and you start seeing some of those kids, and you start seeing the kind of favorites for player of the year and stuff start separating themselves.
Yeah, I know you've got going to be interesting storylines. A couple people going for repeats on the girls' side, of course. Miles Russell still eligible and off to a fairly hot start so far in the year. So, yeah, pretend like you haven't heard that one before. So we'll see how that comes to take shape. See if he can defend and go for a third player of the year. I think that'll be an interesting storyline that, like you said, just here over the next couple of weeks really start to take shape as you look at how many points people have, what's left on the table, and where we go from there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I want to get to our multiple guests actually, that we have today. We are really excited to announce an expanded partnership with ICL Academy. They've been a great partner of ours for the last several years, and they're expanding that partnership. They're going to be part of the Junior All-Star Series, as well as involved in a number of other places. So a huge partner of ours. So we've got Dayton from ICL Academy on, and we also have Ronin Banerjee, who is a junior who's been around the AJGA for a while, played in a lot of invitationals, a lot of really cool stories and things with them. So excited to kind of talk to them and hear their perspective on a few things. But I want to go ahead and welcome them in. So thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Tim.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I think we want to kind of start a little bit with you, Dayton, because I want to get a little bit of a background of ICL Academy and the ICL Academy relationship with the AJGA and kind of how that has come about. Obviously, we're announcing this big extension, this big expansion of that partnership. It's really been awesome for us. Why don't you walk me through that?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, at its core, at the end of the day, ICL is our mantra is champions for life. So we're talking about building champions for life. And when people hear that, they immediately think that must be on the golf course or tennis court or whatever it may be. And it's actually much deeper than that, Tim, as you know, and as the AJGA knows. And that's kind of how we, in essence, fell into this relationship together. we have such a similar like-minded approach as far as what we're looking to do with the players, the student athletes. And that is, it's more than just the education. It's more than just the golf. It's developing these individuals as people, setting them up for success in life. And so ICL at its core, we're a full-blown education platform. We are a school for grades 5 through 12. As you can imagine, completely fully online, offering live synchronous courses, asynchronous courses, and another different kind of means in between as far as our partners go. And so that means deep, high-level counseling that's, getting granular with our students, getting them into some of the top universities and colleges across the world, and working with amazing kids like Ronnie as well to, as they pursue their passion, give them a chance to not, in essence, be in a classroom maybe from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. every single day, having that flexibility to still dive deep into their passion and have the ability to, in essence, still have a great academic experience while also having that personal/social life that so many kids yearn for. So overall, at the end of the day, it's been a wonderful partnership to start with the AJGA. Been with you guys now for a few years and excited to be with you guys for many more years to come.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. I know we're very excited about the partnership, and we've talked to quite a few people on site who've asked questions about ICL. They're very interested in as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, you mentioned several other sports as well, whether it's golf, tennis, basketball, but what makes ICL work so well for competitive junior golfers specifically?
Yeah, the biggest thing about what makes ICL work so well for, in essence, the competitive landscape in general, we say passion instead of sport. And the only reason we say that is if you look at all of our different kids that are with us at ICL, we've got more than 1,100 students, and they're across, yes, tennis, yes, golf, equestrian, soccer, but we've also got a ton of performing artists, your actors, your actresses, your dancers. And one of the key points about what makes it work well is exactly why a kid like Ronnie, who's with us today, came to ICL, that level of flexibility without also sacrificing the academic rigor. And I think that's what happens sometimes is you think, okay, if I'm going online, maybe it's just a check the box type system. And really it's a balance with ICL. And so the ability to, in essence, customize your schedule and your day to, in essence, fit with what it is that you're pursuing from a passion perspective is crucial. And so whether it's an individual student like a Ronnie or whether it's a partner that we work with, it's a very big piece of the puzzle in the sense that they can create that schedule that works super well for them, whether they're traveling for tournaments or, just practice schedules, whatever it may be, but at the same time, still get that academic experience. And so we are spread across now 30 plus passions. I think we're up to 37 at this point. Tennis and golf, definitely big passions for us, but again, as I alluded to, a number of other passions as well. And at the end of the day, it's that connective tissue between, yes, the academic experience, yes, the passion experience, but putting those together, and again, a high quality way, then nothing's being sacrificed. That's what's really key for us.
Nice. Can you talk a little bit about what this expansion of the partnership is going to be? I know that it's going to become, a heavy involvement with the Junior All-Star Series and some of those other things. Can you speak to that a little bit and what you're excited about with the announcement of this expansion that we're doing?
Yeah, really excited about the expansion with the AJGA. I think more importantly than anything, it's understanding junior golf it's not just an extracurricular. For many of these kids, students, athletes, it's a serious performance pathway. And I know the AJGA really understands that. These kids are traveling, they're training, they're competing, recovering, they're managing the pressures and the stresses that maybe we did as athletes as well. And at the same time, they start thinking about college at an incredibly young age. Our school has the ability to, in essence, understand that's a reality. And so as we look at the expansion of this partnership, we looked at what AJGA has already accomplished over the past 30 or 40 years. And we look at the direct alignment between ICL and between the AJGA. And we look at how can we continue to position ourselves with our mission statement and with the AJGA's mission statement of, again, in essence, building these champions for life. And so for us, it was a natural, seamless progression for us to move from not only supporting the preview series, but now also the Junior All-Star Series. And so ICL stepping in as the title sponsor now when it comes to the Junior Pathway Series is an incredibly big deal for us because it now allows us to continue to spend that time, that energy, that level of focus and attention on these kids that we're helping develop and going back to our mantra of building champions for life. So there's a lot more to work through over the next, weeks, months, and years together. But at the end of the day, it goes back to our core mission, which is how do we help develop these kids to be the most well-rounded, holistic individuals, setting them up for success in life?
Yeah, and Dayton, kind of a cool tie actually having Ronnie here too, because getting involved with the Junior All-Star Series, Ronnie's first invitational win at the Junior All-Star Invitational in La Triumph a few years ago. Remember still watching him drain that putt on 18, the big fist pump flexing at the crowd, as Ronnie
gave
does.
a big fist pump? What?
Yeah, again, imagine that. Imagine seeing that. But so Ronnie, as you kind of progressed into that level, you're winning invitationals, you're climbing in the rankings, playing at a very high competitive level. What was it about ICL that made it work for you? What made that a logical transition?
I mean, it was pretty perfect. I was getting pretty smoked in school my sophomore year, just like traveling for all the tournaments. Like missing a week at a time, like junior players or like the President's Cup. Simplify, like Rolex conveniently was not on Thanksgiving break for me, even though it was on Thanksgiving. So I mean, it was pretty hard to deal with all the school, and because you had to focus. I mean, when I'm out there, I'm not really thinking about school because obviously I'm with my best friends. So after the round, I'm with them. During the round, I'm focusing on golf. So it was really hard to, come back and pick up on all the schoolwork that I missed. So ICL has really helped with that. Like I can confidently like just go a week without school and come back, and all my lessons and all my work is still there for me to complete. And it's like, it's really fair. It's really fair for an athlete. It's not a boatload of work. It's something that you still get your education, and you're able to still compete at the highest level. So it was pretty perfect for me.
Yeah, can you talk through kind of your daily schedule and what that looks like and how kind of ICL works into that? Obviously, I know that can be kind of different day to day, but just in general, how ICL is able to be kind of fit into the schedule for a top level junior athlete.
Yeah. Well, I take my time waking up, so I'm probably up and going around 9, ripping some breakfast, take a shower, and then get ready around 10 o'clock. And from 10 to 12, I'm busting down some schoolwork. And then, 12 o'clock, I'll go grab some lunch. I'll go to the golf course, do what I need to do. It depends, like, if my buddies are out there, I'll probably practice some, go play, maybe go to the gym, and then I'll get down around 6:30, come back home, freshen up and whatever. Either, get on a call with some of my friends and do some more schoolwork, watch a movie, go to bed. So it's pretty freeing. I kind of have the ability to do whatever I want, flexible practice schedules. Some days if on a Monday, my golf course is closed. So, and typically, playing an AJGA Saturday, Sunday, Friday is a tournament, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So come back and have that, that full Monday, take a break from golf and catch up on all the schoolwork that I've missed. So all the timing works out pretty ideal. And obviously, like, even if I can take a break off on a Wednesday and still do all my schoolwork, as long as I put in, a solid 2 hours of just good timing, it's like I'm learning what I need to, and I'm getting the schoolwork done that I need to.
Dayton, can you speak to a little bit how ICL has kind of developed the formula, I guess you could say, to really fit into these athletes' schedules, and really how has that kind of come about, and how has that kind of tweaked, and what's the philosophy there with how much is too much or how much isn't enough or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back even to the partnership with the AJGA. I mean, to be honest with you, our partnership with the AJGA, it's about helping families solve one of the biggest challenges in junior golf, which is how do you pursue a sport, in this case, golf, seriously without compromising your education? And so I myself have been in this space now for just over 20 years and, seen a lot of different models that have worked, seen some models that have not worked. And it's understanding there's a different lens when it comes to someone that's pursuing their passion. Now, again, specifically in the golf space, Ronnie just described his schedule. Every schedule looks different for these kids. Some of them are waking up at 5, 6 in the morning. They're going out to the range, the course, whatever it may be. They might be doing health and wellness, cardio, any type of, mental fitness, things along those lines. Their days all look different. But that's the nice thing is with ICL, we dialed it into where we understand that for our courses, our coursework, our curriculum, there's still a set amount of time that these kids are going to need to dedicate to these particular courses, subjects, whatever it may be, to still be successful. And so through our experience, of course, developing our own curriculum. We don't purchase any of our curriculum. Everything is developed homegrown. It's all proprietary. We've worked well with our families over the years, obviously looked through a number of different lenses. We continue to advance in the AI space as well to understand what is the right amount of time that these kids need to be spending. But also, it's not just the time they're spending, it's the support mechanisms we have in place to have teachers that are dedicated to each one of these courses and these kids, to have our college advising staff that are dedicated to these kids. Those are the really important elements that really come into this and that factor into this big, is that yes, you can put a child on an island and some are going to succeed, but it's the support mechanisms that are in place. And so, on a daily basis, most of our kids are probably spending roughly 2 to 3 hours maybe doing some coursework, and that may be across 1 or 2 subjects. But really, when you think about it, if they're taking 5 core subjects with us, they're probably spending about 2 to 4 hours per core subject with us, meaning about 15 to 20 hours per week doing their online studies. You tie that directly to a traditional brick and mortar. And I mean, when I was going to school, I was spending 33 to 40 hours a week in the classroom. And so to Ronnie's comments earlier, it's a really nice ability for them to say, hey, I get to, in essence, reinvest somewhere between 15 to 20 hours a week back into my passion. And on top of that, into their lives in general, to where things can be stressful, things can be overwhelming. Doing it this way with a flexible environment, you get enough time in your day to kind of have all the elements included and eliminate some of that stress that comes along with life.
Yeah, that's interesting because my wife and I actually homeschool our first grader, and he does about 2 to 3 hours of school a day, and it's so different. It's because it's such a one-on-one. It's like a kind of very concentrated learning concept. So it's very fascinating to me.
And you mentioned being able to reinvest that time. And Ronnie, why don't you just walk us through, obviously you're playing at the highest competitive level of junior golf. Why don't you walk us through over the next month or so, kind of what your schedule looks like for those who may not be super familiar with what that schedule looks like for a top ranked player?
Yeah, I mean, man, I think I have my schedule pretty down, but I have about a week and a half off until I'm going down to Oklahoma. Obviously with another player, Chase Hughes, spending some time with him in Oklahoma, and we're both going down, playing in Dallas, a little pre-qualifier for the CJ Cup. If we make it, spend a couple more days back in Oklahoma, come down in Dallas, play the Monday qualifier, and if we make it, we'll be playing a PGA Tour event. And if not, we'll go straight from Dallas to South Florida and see y'all at Team TaylorMade. Come back, national championship right around that time. Hopefully my Vols will be there at La Costa. I'll be down there watching, and then that's kind of around the time we'll take off for summer golf, and summer golf is that's the biggest time. I'll go to the Sunny Hana Amateur, straight to the Northeast Amateur, straight to the North-South Amateur. That stretch, it's 3 weeks. Throw in the U.S. Junior, throw in the Junior Players, throw in the Wyndham Cup. I'm spending more time outside California than I am inside. So, it's what I love to do. I love to travel. Obviously, it'll be during summer, so school won't be a factor, even though, even if it was, it wouldn't be as hard to manage being online. But then obviously after that summer, school kicks back up again. The schedule lightens up a little bit.
Ronnie, you talked, or Thomas mentioned kind of the Junior All-Star Invitational. Talk about starting out with that Junior All-Star Series and what kind of the advantage of some of those events, kind of with that 12 to 15-year-old range, and how that kind of helped you get going into AJGA competition.
Yeah, well, my first one was a Junior All-Star at Papago. I played probably 2 or 3 of them. 3 of them. The one the Ninja All-Star, and then the Junior All-Star Invitational. That was my peak, I would say. But it's huge. It kind of developed me. For what it honestly, jumping from the Junior All-Stars to the Invitationals was a big jump. The level of play and the people you play against, it was huge. But the competition and getting and preparing you to compete was obviously a big thing at the Junior All-Star level, and then kind of transitioning into a little bit of opens. But obviously once you get to the Invitationals, it's jumping from the Korn Ferry to the PGA Tour. It takes a little bit to get used to it, playing against some bigger names, harder golf courses, harder setups. It really challenges you. But I mean, now that I'm all like tuned up in the invitationals, I feel really comfortable playing. I'm not feeling like, out of place. It's the best place for me to, some people don't play, AJGA their senior year and thinking like, like it's time for me to slow down and get ready for college. Personally, I think that playing invitationals, it's the highest form of junior competition that it gets. And that's something I'll be doing, getting ready for college just to keep competing. And I think that, AJGA is the best place to do that.
Really quick pivot before we get back here. One of my favorite Ronnie stories, and you may or may not even remember this, but coming off the Junior All-Star Invitational again early that next year, one of those first invitationals was the Mayakoba Invitational when we played down there in Cancun. And that's a tough golf course. It's a long golf course right by the ocean, so the wind is a big factor. And I want to say it's the third fairway. It's a long hole anyway, but it's playing dead into the wind. And Ronnie at this time is still not hit a growth spurt yet, so still a little bit littler than he is today. But he just tees it up. He hammers this thing, and it doesn't get to the fairway. And I just remember him looking at his dad and being like, "Dad, I can't even get to this fairway." And it was just one of those moments where it was just a little bit of a different experience for him. But again, he just, like he said, it's just you get to that level, and it's just a big jump. It's another level of time and commitment. You've got to be in the gym a little bit more. Obviously for him, it was just hadn't hit a growth spurt yet, but it just takes a little bit more and all that more time and commitment. So I think that's really kind of unique where, again, having that support of the Junior All-Star Series is really that next level where you start to see you need a little bit more of that time and dedication.
Yeah, I don't remember all that. I'm not sure, but I'll trust you for that one. I've definitely had those experiences where it was, I think the biggest one was the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Or the Arnold Palmer Open. Man, you guys said that I couldn't reach a couple fairways. I do remember that.
Yeah, that was when Jacob Kennedy and I were riding around because we were like, this thing's set up at 7,400 yards. We know like it's going to be tough with the wind. And then we see like some of the big hitters are barely getting there. And like, yeah, this is going to be a beast if this wind picks up.
Yeah, I was trying on that fourth hole par 5. There was this probably 255 yards out. I was scoping that down, trying to knock the cart path and trying to get that bounce to the fairway, but I was in the rough every day. I mean, and you guys didn't you didn't cut it down one bit. So that was a brutal week.
Look where you are now though.
Yeah, I'm having a blast reaching fairways.
It does tie in though. I mean, to everything Thomas you were alluding to and Tim as well around just the development. I mean, you think of the preview series to the Junior All-Star to the Invitational, and it's everything that we're talking about with Ronnie. I mean, he and I played Sawgrass last year. And I mean, again, even over the last 9 months, Ronnie has, I feel like he's grown 2 more inches, and the development in his golf game has been tremendous. And overall, like that's what it's about, it's that progression, whether it's with us at ICL, whether it's with the AJGA, it's the development of each of these individuals. And the AJGA, ICL, they're giving them chances to do that. And so it is fun. I mean, Ronnie's one of the best characters we have at the end of the day when it comes to our students. He's definitely one of the most free-flowing individuals, as we can all attest to, when it comes to what he may say, what he may do, how he may act. But that's the cool part is I have to dive into that a little bit. We've got some pretty amazing kids that attend ICL, but every one of them is so different. We've got some that are just locked in. They are dead serious. And, I mean, on the girls' side, I'll tell you a quick story. I played last year with Aphrodite Dang, who's again top in the AJGA space on the female side. And she's one of our students, and she and I played around together, and it ended up getting, really opened out and fun. We had a good time, but Aphrodite takes a very serious approach to her game. She's very dialed in. And, when Ronnie and I played Sawgrass, it was awesome. Ronnie and I walked up to the first tee, and he's like, "What's up, man?" And just kind of, gave me his like quick spiel, like, "How you doing?" and stuff. And we'd barely interacted much before then, but it was the most laid back round of golf that you could have ever imagined for a kid that was getting ready to go prepare to play the junior players a day later. And Ronnie, keep me honest, I think you were top 5 junior players, somewhere on the top. I mean, at least top 10.
Yeah,
right?
I think you're like 4th or something.
I mean, so again, the reason I share that story is preparation, development, it looks so different for every kid. And that's why it doesn't have to be set in that traditional structure, whether it's with school or whether it's with training, like it's going to look different, but having a level head and being willing to accept that, positive criticism here and there that helps us develop these individuals. That's what's key. So something I love about Ronnie, it's definitely something that he is strong in the sense of being able to take that criticism, but man, can he have some personality and fun out there on the golf course as well.
Yeah, there's how many times, Ronnie, am I out there taking photos or videos or something, and you're like, it's coming down the stretch and in the final round, and he hits a tee shot and he just stands there holding the finish for like 30 seconds. I'm like, yeah, I got the photo. You don't have to hold it that
Okay,
long.
yeah, that's not true. Come on.
That is definitely true.
No.
That's why we love you, Ronnie. It's fine. That's awesome. No, it's good though. I think a lot of that personality is fun to see, especially in the junior space, because I think you don't always get to see that at some other levels of the game. So it's good to have personality, and I think it's good. It makes it fun and certainly makes it more enjoyable for kind of everybody involved. Before we wrap up here, Dayton, can you talk a little bit, any advice or anything that you might have to families or juniors who are out there kind of trying to figure it out and figure out this space? Obviously, we feel like ICL is a great solution to some of those challenges, but is there any advice that you might give to parents or families out there?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, Tim. I mean, listen, there's a pathway for everybody. So when you talk about advice for parents and families out there, at no time would I ever say, hey, you have to come to ICL, or you have to go to this school, or you have to use this trainer. On the flip side, what I would say is don't feel like you have to sacrifice any aspect of the ecosystem, and school being one of those. At the end of the day, we pride ourselves on being able to offer scholarships, financial aid, those support tools, obviously a discount because we are AJGA partners. That's really key for us to be able to do that. And when I say don't sacrifice, it's important that we do invest in these kids. And so, as much as we're investing with them in the golf space or in their personal health and wellness, the same has to be said for us, education or vice versa. And so I would just challenge all of our parents, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for support. Don't be afraid to ask for that help. That's going to be key. Some of the things we really hang our hats on the ICL side, it really does come into that college guidance and that counseling piece and that support mechanism. That's really important. And that's not consistent across the board when looking at a lot of schools out there. And so that's something we really pride ourselves on. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to take that deep breath. There's going to be some times where it feels overwhelming for sure, but leverage that support system as much as possible. And I think that's where you'll find that deep connection with ICL is the support system that we offer. It's a mechanism that's unlike any other. And it's allowed us to continue to grow as we have and position ourselves as the #1 school for kids that are pursuing a passion at this point.
No, and like you said, Dave, I personally love too that you call it those passions, because I think, like Ronnie alluded to as well, just the fact that you have to be very passionate about it to commit to that kind of schedule and that kind of growth, just everything that it takes. It's a big part of your life. But just kind of, again, pivoting a little bit, I know both you have backgrounds in different sports as well, some other passions here. Dayton wanted to talk a little bit about your baseball background before we jump to at Ronnie Golf Tennis here.
I love it. I definitely grew up an athlete. I was having this discussion yesterday with a partner, and they asked me what I played, and I played it all. I love golf, still love golf to this day. I get to golf not near what Ronnie gets to golf these days. My golf used to be every weekend. Now, when you have kids and a wife and things like that, life changes a little bit. So I get to golf maybe once every couple of months now. But when I was growing up, I was baseball, football, basketball consistently. Played quarterback heading into high school. Obviously played basketball as well, starting as a small forward at that time. And then baseball, I pitched and I played third base. And the high school I went into, you really had to make a decision. It was not kind of get to play multiple sports. I ultimately chose the baseball route. And for me, at the end of the day, my parents did a great job of, in essence, embedding in my head that education was paramount. And so even though I would have loved to play pro baseball and ultimately went on to play college ball, the whole goal was always make sure my education could, in essence, get paid for, taken care of through my athletic abilities. And so sports were huge. The camaraderie, the collaboration, and you get that through golf as well. That's the cool thing is you go look at our kids through ICL, and I'll specifically talk about the AJGA. Go look at the top 10, 20 golfers now. And that's what's fun for Ronnie. You've got Ronnie, you got Jesse Hubner, you got Chase Hughes, you've got Cam Kuchar. I mean, it's just kid after kid after kid, and they're getting a chance to go out to these tournaments, and that's their crew. That's their connection. I mean, you just heard Ronnie talk about earlier, him and Chase obviously going to be spending these next couple of weeks together. And so the sport the ability to connect is so big. And I always relate back to that. I have some of the greatest relationships back from my time in sports, and sports has carried me through as well. Of yes, I still get to do it tied to ICL, but I spent a couple of years as a pitching coach, and I still like to give back where I can from a sports perspective. So I think when you've got that athletic or kind of passion-based background, it never really leaves you, and you're always trying to find a way back to that connection at some point.
No, I think it's very cool. Obviously, growing up, I played baseball myself in college, and it was such a fun experience for me. That's part of why I wanted to get into this industry. And so definitely cool to meet those kids, like you said, learn about those different experiences. And so, again, Ronnie, want to get a little bit about your background, not just in golf, but that tennis background. Obviously, now I think spend a little more time focusing on the golf game, but tell us a little bit about that tennis background growing up.
Yeah, I mean, last time I picked up a tennis racket, I was with Cam in Palm Springs. But I mean, I haven't really been seeing a tennis court much. But I mean, I was probably about 3-4-year-ish olds when I picked up a tennis racket. I guess I kind of fell in love with it pretty early. I was playing like tennis tournaments 5 through 9 years old. I mean, I was having a blast. I got to travel a little bit, not as much, but I lived in New Jersey at the time when I was playing tennis. And then when I was about 7 years old, I picked up a golf club as well. And I kind of we moved to California to be able to play golf and tennis. I think more so tennis, but I mean, I started getting, pretty good at golf, playing the US kids stuff. And I think by about 10 years old, probably 12 years old, I kind of stopped playing competitive tennis and kind of like fully transitioned to golf, because golf was a lot more like time consuming with the travel. So I think probably about 12 years old, I stopped playing tennis. But I mean, I had some great memories. I got to play in a commercial with Roger Federer. I got to, go to the US Open a bunch of times. So I enjoyed my time playing tennis, but I couldn't be more grateful to be playing golf.
Love it. Love it. Well, we appreciate y'all taking the time to chat with us today and kind of talk about what we got going on. We'll definitely look forward to seeing you both out there on the road. I think we'll definitely be catching up with you here soon. But again, appreciate the time today for sure.
Sam, Thomas, thanks for having us. Really, really appreciate it, guys. We're looking forward to the expansion on the partnership. And from Ronnie's side, looking forward to continuing to see him round out this next year and a half. And obviously, Ronnie, you got to give yourself a shout out college-wise. I know you haven't done that yet, but where are you headed to for college, Ronnie?
I'm going to Tennessee. I can't wait. In 2027, I get to go with some of my best friends, Tyler and Pinson, and hopefully Chase can follow along, but we'll see.
We still got you for one more year, though, don't we?
Yeah, you absolutely do. I'll enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you out there on the road. Always great to have our partners on, especially kind of surrounding big announcements, and especially when it involves a top 5 junior with us too. Ronnie's always got something to say about everything. And I just wanted to be said that I was thinking about it, and he said he doesn't do that. But at Carlton Woods, 3-4 holes left to play, he was down by 3, still got time. Mm-hmm. He's walking down the fairway. I got my camera, and he looks at me and says, "You haven't taken enough photos of me this week." So then I go to take a photo of him on the green, makes a putt, fist pumps, stares right at the camera. So he is definitely not. That's definitely happens.
Yeah, no, he's a character. Like I said, you always know where he's at on the golf course. He's loud, but he does it. He's one of those guys where it's just because he's enjoying it. He's having fun. He's creating energy for everyone else around him. That's why he's such a good team guy in those team events, whether it's a Wyndham Cup, President's Cup, something like that. So cool to see that. And then again, a big thank you to Dayton and ICL for what they're doing. Got the opportunity too. Dayton was at our Stockton preview meeting with some parents, doing a meeting there, and got the opportunity to learn quite a bit more about the program, and definitely something that's interesting. I didn't realize too, they kind of tailor it to those players' interests. I know they talk about their passions, but Ronnie's science classes are tailored around his physics classes around the physics of a golf swing and the ball flight, things like that. Nice. They really tailor it so it makes it interesting. And I just think that's something that's kind of cool, because I can imagine I probably would have enjoyed my science classes more if it was baseball, football related. So you're still learning about it, but it's at least something that, this is kind of more interesting for me. So thought that was just kind of cool too, that they involve some of that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, before we wrap up here, just wanted to give a quick shout out. The Mizuho America's Open is this week. Definitely tune into that on TV. You're going to see a lot of AJJ juniors. That's the event we have alongside the LPGA, where our top players play in an event, basically coinciding with them. So definitely tune into that. It's one of the coolest events we do, just from a media coverage standpoint, a TV, all of those things. So definitely tune in there. But Thomas, I appreciate the time today. Everybody out there, make sure you follow us on our social medias, including TikTok, on X and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. And then heart, share, 5-star review, whatever. Give us some stuff on the podcast so we can make sure we're getting this out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, no, always a fun time, Tim. Glad we're back in the swing, like you mentioned. Going to have to get the schedules there and compare as we get here going in the summer. Not going to be in the office nearly as much, but we'll still find time to record and get some more of these great guests on for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Thomas.
Always a pleasure, Tim.